Hey Budai Nation, welcome to this channel. I'm Daniel Budai, and my team and we helped more than 120 e-commerce companies in the past 2 years, and we generated more than $35 million extra revenue. We hate boring ads. We don't want e-commerce business owners to spend on dual advertising, and this is why we are here. So you mentioned your research is qualitative and also data-backed, but you create not just emails, but lead magnets. This is the name of the company, right? Magnet Monster. So I'm curious, what's your approach on lead magnets? Because most people, I think they just use a discount in e-commerce.
So obviously everybody probably knows Monster, which is lead gen software. We originally sort of started the company out more focused, I would say, on the lead gen side of things. So optimizing for data collection on site and then just basic automation. The name Magnet Monster was basically a spin-off Monster, but magnets to obviously attract leads. And then we sort of did a small pivot and just niche down more towards, solely e-commerce, like campaign retainers and just overall email management. So we were stuck with the name at that point and we liked the branding, and I'm happy we've still got it now. But lead magnets in general, we used to do really beautiful lead magnets, put a huge amount of effort into them. And my opinion is a lot of them have become obsolete because gating content for the sake of generating leads, I just don't think it makes much sense. I would rather give the information for free, build credibility and authority with a much broader audience. And then, I mean, if they're going to buy from you, they're going to buy from you. They don't need to opt in with an email address. So it's like a false sense of ROI, or, it's a bit of a bullshit KPI in my opinion, because generating leads for the sake of generating leads, when you can disseminate the information for free and add value, you're going to end up with the same result most time anyway. So most lead magnets, in my opinion, should just be published on sites for free and let the customers consume it that way. Because if they're going to buy, they're going to buy. Not because they put an email into your website and got some really like fancy looking PDF. So yeah, I don't think that most of the time they're worthwhile anymore.
Do you think the same applies for B2B, by the way? Because we tried it and we didn't get that amazing results. What we tried last year is webinars, and we wrote 2 ebooks, and we tried making it gated and then not gated. So for example, this live stream now is not gated. Everyone can see it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and it gets more engagement than, and the podcast, it gets more engagement than a gated content. However, we cannot collect emails. So what do you think? It's better to share it and more people can see it, or it's better to collect the emails and you have their contact and you can go further? And can you see a difference between B2B and e-commerce, or not really?
I think there's a lot of similarities that people try and separate out and consider them completely different. But actually the customer journey is very similar in both. People seek validation from third parties and referrals and word of mouth, and there's a lot of touch points, and they want to interact and see that you know what you're talking about. And you probably see, right? Like I've got my own newsletter. I produce huge amounts of content for free on our website. And I was always very worried, like, oh, I'm giving away all strategies that we use. But actually, the more I give away, the more business it's generated for us. So that's really shaped my thinking as well. And that's obviously this is in a B2B context. And the amount of messages inbound I get from even other marketers as well as business tells me, at least I think that was the right move. And if I would have gated it, I don't know, would I have got the same results? Probably not, because I think people just want the instant, gratification of the knowledge. Forcing them to opt in for an ebook or something just for the sake of giving them something that will have the same result regardless, I just don't see the point. It just adds a layer of friction. So you could maybe say as well on a website, right? Like why force someone to opt in for a discount code? Why not just plaster it over the top of the site? And I think there's a credible argument for that for first time customers. So yeah, ultimately B2B, I don't think it's too different the journey than e-commerce. I think just prove the value and credibility and the buyers will come.
I think the same. And also, I think it's good to ask ourselves, when did I subscribe to someone's newsletter because I wanted to go to a webinar or download an ebook? Long time ago.
I mean, look, like you see it on LinkedIn all the time. It's usually the same tech companies over and over again producing quite fluffy content, in my opinion. That, let's be honest, like it's sort of content for the sake of content. There's not really any novel strategy or value in these. And I've never registered for one personally. I was like, if you've got something to say that's interesting, just post it. But the people on LinkedIn who post great content every single day, I follow them religiously, and I'm excited whenever I see them share new content. And I don't need to sign up to a gated ebook to buy from those people or do business with them when the time is right. I'm just going to go to them because I have a need. So I think that's the blueprint to follow these days.
Maybe it's just my impression, but I think the higher ticket product or service you sell, the more it becomes true. I have the impression that if you sell a software for $10 a month or 20, then yeah, people will subscribe, they will download the ebook, and then they will buy. It's an easy buy. But if they want to go to an agency and pay $5,000, it doesn't really matter if they subscribe to a webinar or not.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like, what is the purpose of these ebooks and everything? It's knowledge distribution and showing value. So I don't understand why gating it is a prerequisite to delivering that value. Obviously, it's nice to have someone's data, but just start a newsletter. Like, we've got a newsletter where people willingly opt in because they want to receive.
Because it's valuable.
Yeah, because it's not because I'm forcing them to. I don't only send the content to people if they opt in. I just say, like, it's going to be released on this day. And, as we know, email is just a great channel to deliver the content. So stay up to date with it. You don't have to subscribe to the newsletter to consume my content. And ultimately, if I release a course or you want to do business with me, you're going to do it anyway, whether you're subscribed to the newsletter or not. It doesn't make much difference.
If you like this video, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated when we release a new video. And thanks for watching again. Stay tuned for the next video.